now on the pavement in Odoko. We are mobilizing a team to actually visit these areas to see whether we can demonstrate the presence of these foods.
You hear the Director of Public Health at the Ghana Health Service, Dr. Franklin Esidu-Bekwin. We know Lassa fever is a viral hemorrhagic fever which is endemic in Benin, Ghana, Guinea, Liberia, Mali, Sierra Leone, and Nigeria. And Ghana recorded its first case in 2011. Now, updates on Ghana's push for an IMF program. There are fears Ghana's attempt to seek a debt cancellation from China may come at a cost as the country races against time to strike a deal. Economist Professor Lord Mensah says a raft of cost-cutting measures are required to send a signal to external creditors of Ghana's goodwill, even as the country seeks support from China, a country it owes in excess of $1.7 billion.
And announced 30% cut for all articles, 71 workers. And the question is, how much are they saving from that? Would it be enough as compared to if we cut down the number of ministers to a certain, level? This has to do with numbers, but I believe that even if we are looking at the quantum of monies that can be saved, we may have to look at the signal that it will send to, the people. That government is also sacrificed. And obviously, the size of government has a strong relationship with, corruption. Because as you increase the size of government, you're more or less being innovative bureaucratically.
You heard the Professor Lord Mensah is an economist at the University of Ghana. Away from that, it's been 4 years since the bloody by-elections in the Yawaso West Wogon constituency, which left 5 NDC activists injured. Even though a commission of inquiry recommended payments of compensation, the victims are yet to receive any monies. Their lawyers say they will be forced to sue the state if a 30-day ultimatum issued by the party expires in a couple of days. We'll hear from Director of Legal Affairs of the party shortly, but first, here is one of the victims, Ishawu Yaro, who has been unable to walk since the incident 4 years ago.
There is a metal caliper inserted. I cannot walk. My feet get swollen under the least pressure.
You heard the Shauya, one of 5 victims of the bloody Ayawaso West Wogon by-election. We can now hear from Abraham Amaliba. He's Director of Legal Affairs of the NDC.
This government does not feel remorse about what transpired in Ayawaso West Wogon. After the expiration of the 30 days mandatory period, we shall proceed to court, sue the Attorney General on the back of the Emily Short Commission's work, which recommends that the 5 persons should be compensated.
You heard that Abraham Amaliba, he is the Director of Legal Affairs of the NDC. Still in the constituency, in the last 12 to 24 hours, it has been in the top trends on social media following an announcement by actor John Dumelo to return to contest the primaries there. On Twitter, many have been reacting to John Dumelo's post in which he declared he had to return to the constituency upon consultation with the party, his family, and well-wishers. John Dumelo lost to NPP's Lydia Al-Hassan in the 2020 election by a minimum of 2,000 votes. He is now going to be locking horns with his movie industry colleague Fred Nyama, who has already picked forms to contest the primaries there. Flash polls on Facebook and Twitter appear to put the actor John Dumelo in a good stead for the 2024 elections against a familiar foe in Lydia Al-Hassan. Now, heads of second cycle institutions who demand unapproved items on the prospectus of students getting into senior high schools will be sanctioned. That's according to the Ghana Education Service, which has been bearing its teeth at some school heads it says have been reported to be demanding items not approved by the service. In a statement, GES says it takes strong exception to the practice, which is a disincentive for parents. The service says investigations will soon commence into the issues to ensure that the right things are done, and any head of institution caught demanding any items aside those approved will be severely sanctioned. To other news now, Parliament has denied reports that a constitutional instrument seeking to make the Ghana card a sole registration document for elections has been passed. Earlier reports by some outlets suggested that the legislators had passed a CI, which will make the Ghana card the only reference document for registration. A release by the Public Affairs Directorates of Parliament clarified that the House on February 23 met to have a pre-presentation discussion on the CI and to collect inputs from relevant sources for the drafting of the constitutional instruments. And also, we know later this week, the Health Minister, Kweku Agyeman-Menu, is scheduled to appear before Parliament to brief the House on steps being taken to address the country's shortage of childhood vaccines. And you know, it comes after Parliament heard from many of the appointees by President Akufo-Addo to replace some of the ministers of state who had resigned sometime last week. And Health Minister will be expected to appear on March 1 in the House. Now, we know the war in Ukraine and its consequences continue to bite. A year after the invasion of Ukraine by Russia, we know the impact is being felt by students and many others across the world. My colleague Josh Queening was at the Family Health University College at Teshi in Accra to find out how some students who were evacuated and signed on to government integration program are faring a year on.
And here at the Family Health University College at Teshi in Accra, some students who signed onto government integration program are wrapping up on the final lap of their 6-year medical program.
The timeline for writing of the exams was very limited. It came as a result of a very short notice. So many people couldn't come down to even participate in the integration exams.
Mrs. Nana Baini is here to visit her daughter, Irama Baini, who is also a medical school student of the university. She was in church to thank the Lord a year after delivering her 2 children from the war.
Can you imagine paying for maybe 4 years of medical school, and then I had another daughter, she was in her first year. Initially when they came back, even the sound of thunder, it was like, are these missiles, you know.
Irama Baini tells me she has learned that no situation is permanent if she reflects on the war.
Most importantly, I've learned to put my faith and trust in God. A lot of us didn't think we were going to make it, especially those of us in the Eastern Corridor.
You heard the George Queening's report. Let's head to Nigeria now, because there is anxious wait as collation of election results continues for a second straight day amidst heavy security deployments there. Inspector General of Police says the security agents are on the lookout for persons who will dare attempt to cause any form of trouble. My colleague Komla Adom, who has been in Abuja the past 4 to 5 days, reports.
The 2023 general elections here in Nigeria, the Inspector General of the Nigerian Police Forces justified the use of the over 420,000 security men that have been deployed to keep the sanctity of the process regarding the voting.
In furtherance to this, the election security deployment framework that has been formed earlier will remain in place well ahead of the conduct and announcement of results and thereafter.
Well, a lot of them have been deployed on the street, but here at the Abuja International Conference Center, which is holding the national coalition, the security situation is different. The heavily armed, both military, the police and other para-state security services, they are leaving nothing to chance.
Komla Adom there from Abuja, Nigeria. Meanwhile, leader of the Labour Party, Nigeria's presidential post, Peter Obi, has threatened to go to court to overturn the results of the elections when they are declared. The Labour Party claimed the majority of its members were purposefully denied their right to vote through a variety of ways nationwide. We'll keep our eyes and ears in Nigeria. We'll bring you all the updates subsequently. That'll be all for our bulletin. But if you stay with us here on 2FM, we'll bring you all the updates and the big developments from Nigeria. But we also know that President Akufo-Addo is expected to meet family of late Ghanaian footballer Christian Achu later this week. We'll keep an eye on that also. You want to stay with us. Have a good morning.